and gentlemen, and welcome to the lair of the Film Exorcist. Tonight, we will be doing Wrong Turn 4, Bloody Beginnings, the 2011 film of this series. And on to the plot, which, basically, we go to, some kind of a sanitarium, separatarium or some shit like that, where we meet the younger versions of our villains of each film. Three Finger, One Eye, and Sawtooth. We basically get to see how they lived, what they did when they were younger, and how they ended up killing the whole hospital staff. And a few of the orderlies. Which we move on to our main cast, which is a bunch of teenagers who decide to go on a trip to a cabin they rented out, I don't know, somewhere in West Virginia during the winter. They get lost in a snowstorm and they end up making their own graves in the exact place we first showed up in this movie, the Sanitarium, which, that is our plot, and they end up dying, so yeah. Crew, directed by Declan O'Brien, produced by Kim Todd, written by Declan O'Brien, music by Claude Foyce, cinematography by Michael Marshall, edited by Stein Mistrod, and location, Laurie Road, Brandon, Manitoba, Canada. Good day. And on to the cast. We have Sean Skeen as Three Finger and Vincent, Blaine Sinperda as young Three Finger. We have Daniel Skeen as One Eye, Tristan Carluccia as young One Eye, Scott Johnson as Sawtooth and Orderly, Brian Verrett as young Sawtooth, Jennifer Pudevic as Kenya, Tenika Davis as Sarah, Caitlin Wong as Bridget, also known for the role of three-breasted alien in Total Recall, 2012. Tara Unessa as Jenna, also known for Hannah Stoneman from Goosebumps, Werewolf Skin Part 1 and 2. Victoria Zinnick Jr. as Kyle. Dean Armstrong as Daniel, also known for the role of Kale in Saw 3D. Officer Williams in Joyride 3, Roadkill. Ali Tartayan as Lauren, also known for the role of US X Girl in Curse of Chucky, and Nurse Ashley in Cult of Chucky. Samantha Hendrick as Claire, Arnie McPherson as Dr. Brendan Ryan, Kristen Harris as Dr. Anne Marie McQuaid, and on to the gore score. Brought to you by me. Wait, slasher stats, right. We have 13 kills, first being Charlie Ian by cannibals, second, Dr. McQuaid, death by electroshock therapy. Dr. Ryan is dismembered by barbed wired chains. Porter is decapitated and dismembered off screen. Vincent impaled through chin with spike. Claire decapitated while hung with barbed wire. Daniel Ian alive, piece by piece. Kyle stabbed repeatedly with 4 knives by the remaining members of his group. Jenna impaled with large drill through the back. Bridget is gored by snowmobile's tires, and Lauren frozen alive. Great. She died for no reason. And Kenya and Sarah are last two, death by double decapitation while almost escaping. On to favorite kill. Claire is hung by decapitation. And decapitated. Which, for me... Oh, and Bridget gets gored by tires. But, let's get to the first one. The reason why I like this is basically, you're watching her be hung by something that shouldn't even be there, yet it is. It's tearing up her neck, blood's going all over everyone, including Kyle. Fuck. You even get to see when it gets so bad that her neck literally pulls apart, like the thing in the thing that, well, the reboot, and it's just, you watch her body fall right next to Kyle, and it's just, just how much blood got over him, and just right when her head plops next to him, it's just so gross and amazing. For Bridget gets gored by tires, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's basically similar to what we're going to get in the next movie, except with a snowblower, but here, he's basically running her over and just squirting her out like a fucking toothpaste tube from the legs, and it gets not as a lot gruesomer than Claire's, where here you literally see her go through the tires after a while, and just her whole body just is ground into the ground, and blood is everywhere. It basically looks like what happens if you spray a whole thing of cherry syrup all over the ground. It's just, it makes me not want to eat cherry snow cones anymore. On to least favorite kill. Dr. Ryan's impossible dismembership. Ladies and gentlemen, basically, how the fuck do you get barbed wire in a hospital, first of all, and second of all, how do you pull someone apart in a sanitarium? I mean, I think there was a shot of them using the door mechanism to pull him apart, but it just doesn't make sense how you'd have so much force and be able to fucking do that with all three limbs. And again, where do you get the barbed wire? This is an unreal kill, and it would never happen ever in a hospital or a sanitarium. We have a budget of $2 million, the prequel to the first three movies, and it's gonna start a whole prequel trilogy. Well, quad trilogy. Shot in 19 days, first movie to have no survivors in this series, only movie that nobody gets killed by an arrow, came out same year as Final Destination 5, Scream 4, The Cabin in the Woods, and Hostel 3. Surprised this one didn't have 3D like the fifth Final Destination. Second movie to contain lesbians in the series, except this one, you've got two kinds of lesbian. Well, not two kinds, but two lesbians, sorry. Where the first one was our survival girl in part 2. I mean, 2. On to the opinions, which, guys, let's start with this. Opening scene goes from classy music during chaos to 2 times the sex and a very stupid rabbit joke about sex. I mean, come on. I get it, Zootopia can do that, but they were subtle. This one? Really? And did we need basically two sex scenes in this at the same time? It's so not needed, and that's not how you introduce the main characters of a movie. Actually, a lot of people may call this the Hostel of this series because of all the sex. Circling shot, not needed, which basically is right when the generator goes out and one of our main characters decides to spin around, similar to what happened in Jason X with the sidekick to the popular girl. She's just spinning around and you've got this circle shot and it's not needed. And my basic opinion is I didn't really mind Three Fingers look in this movie. I mean, it could have been better, but it looked a lot more original than the goblin look that we've had for the past 2 movies. The blood effects were really good. A lot of the kills could have made more sense. I mean, I get it, this is a gore fest. It's supposed to be just another slasher movie, but at least a lot of the others had facts. For example, Happy Valentine's Day. No! My Bloody Valentine, which basically we had to deal with a lot of pickaxe kills and Harry being a puppet, basically, but here you can't really do that. And again, where are you getting all this fucking barbed wire from? But altogether, the movie can be funny at times, but the acting really could have been better. I mean, so much screaming. I think they put most of the acting into the sex, and then the rest they just told them, oh, improvise, do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be good, just as long as the kills are good. And a lot of them weren't even that good. And where is the brain in, oh, let's kill one of our own in this just to get him out of the way? I mean, it's clever that the inbreds cut his tongue out and put a sack over his head, but how stupid do you have to be to actually think that was an inbred instead of the one guy you sent out to watch the inbreds? And he didn't even do a good job. But, yeah, this was a fun movie. I kind of enjoyed it, and it's one of the better movies in this series. I gotta give it a 9.7. Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, it really gets worse from here. Too many different stories, and the last 3 weren't really that good. This series is turning out to be pretty much a flop if this is their best movie. So yeah, next week we'll be doing Wrong Turn 5, Bloodlines. As soon as we get into May, we will be doing the Star Wars series again like last year. And basically, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you next week. Good night, everybody!